Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are doing midweek magic. So this is actually just Alchemy, but with a little twist. So it's called Slow Start. So basically there is just this one emblem. As long as an opponent controls no lands you control enter the battlefield tap. So this mostly just punishes the first player. So it does slow down somewhat. So and since we're gonna be taking advantage of that with basically just an amass pile here. We're gonna be pushing as much Lord of the Rings as we can until Wilds of Eldraine comes out. So deck list is pretty simple. Only 7 actual creatures, 3 copies of Mouth of Sauron, and 4 copies of Orcish Bowmasters. I'm at least gonna run one set of what is probably of the card that is making its rounds in modern. I could run the One Ring, but I couldn't really find any room here. Anyway, the catch of this deck is that's pretty much all about amass and control. We so our control. So our mass elements, a few copies of Deceive the Messenger for the inevitable aggro decks. You can actually get some that way. March on the Black Gate, a way to constantly grow them so you don't have to keep amassing yourself. This will just amass on its own. It allows us to also be very careful about how we amass. Mordor Muster, cheap way to amass. Orcish Bowmasters, the more expensive way, but still an amass. Few copies of Treason of Isengard, mostly to get back our removal spells. Also little amass there. And to top it all off, a few copies of Mouth of Sauron for one big amass if we can. Speaking of that, we might as well run Sauron's Ransom. It's actually kind of neat that we have the Mouth of Sauron show displaying it over to them. So this one's pretty much our card advantage engine. This one's a bit of a late add. Our main control is mostly spot removal. 4 copies cut down, 4 copies go for the throat, 4 copies Shieldred's Edict. Got 2 copies of Ruinous Vortex as a just in case. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for all that is notable here. Land base is mana base is very simple for the most part. It's actually very quite traditional. We are running a few copies of Sanders Lounge just to get some additional card draw. Otherwise, I'm pretty much bog standard. It's not exactly it's not the most straightforward deck. Straightforward is just play mono black. Anyway, so we're definitely running turn 1 Dismal Backwater. Probably one, and we have quite a good removal suite for turn 2. Also, double Orcish Bowmaster. Well, Orcish Bowmasters is not the end-all be-all. There are ways around it. But it is kind of annoying in itself, so... Okay, so... Yeah, I probably should be running just more swamps. I'm actually gonna rebalance this. The number of islands I need is not that much. I'm actually gonna balance this out for more swamps. Opponent is skipping a bit, just gonna ping us for 2. Sure. Not liking what they see. Well, we're not liking what we see either, but we'll get around to that. So next turn, depending what our opponent plays, we might just Orcish Bowmasters end of turn anyway. Then just hold up Shieldred. Opponent is kind of stuck though. Well, so are we. Both of us are in the same boat. Let's just see how expensive our opponent's stuff is. If our opponent does have to take time playing Kessig Flamebreakers before they have to play their instants, it does buy us quite a bit of time. Like if our opponent was to do a Kessig Flamebreaker or similar creature at this point and not leave up any mana, I will probably just go Orcish Bowmasters, swing. I think our opponents just give... This is not the way I wanted to go. And to be fair, I'm also stuck too, so... I'm hoping our opponent plays card draw spells. That would be really neat. The opponent's gonna pass. We'll just run this out. Opponent probably has removal, which is fine. Okay, we drew another land. Dismal back. It's a bit dismal, not the worst. Also note that though we have a lot of Bowmasters at the ready, so if our opponent was to go for card draw, let's see, they finally hit their 3rd mana. Chrome Host Shark. I'm gonna go with Shieldred's Edict because there. Okay, hit our Shipwreck Marsh. So I'm actually gonna just play another one Orcish Bowmasters now. Just grow the token a bit. Start applying a little bit more pressure. Opponent puts a stop before their draw phase. Orcish. Yep, they conceded. Looks like they did get stuck on mana. And it does hurt a lot if you're going for spells like Big Score or whatnot. I actually kind of expected our opponent to be playing the there is third path Iconoclast, so it's kind of like the Young Pyromancer build, Sans Young Pyromancer. Got Foray of Orcs. I actually considered adding red to this one. That would have made this interesting, but I opted not to add red to this one because we're. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot. I'm supposed to cut one island, add one more swamp. Our balance is our mana balance is pretty much 2/3. So yeah, another. So having the Dismal Backwater turn 1 really helps. Opponent does mull 1. And if your land enters tapped anyway, it's not a penalty. Opponent could choose to untap it, but they might be going for Scry. Yeah, they're gonna Scry. So we do need the cards. So I'm actually gonna just go Mordor Muster. Okay, hitting the land is quite perfect there. We can Dismal Backwater again and hold up any of our other cards. And just apply minimal amounts of pressure at the start. Then we can kind of wait. I originally ran a few copies of the Saruman counterspell, but felt that was really not great. I am going to run the Orcish Bowmasters out now. Our opponent might go and then just kill our opponent could just go for the orcs right now if they want to. So having a lot of these big instants is nice. Treason of Isengard being one of the few sorceries in the deck. Go for the throat, that's fine. Kinda expected. Opponent is still kinda stuck though. Now, our opponent could just burn the token in response. I'm kind of expecting it. So, yeah, we're expecting a split of 2. These might be lands, but it's also a bit concerning considering our opponent has yet to play a creature. My hand is kind of full and I have enough removal. I'm going to choose this. Yeah, I needed the lands more, which is perfectly fine here. Our opponent might have a. Okay, so we're still gonna pass because our opponent's not really done anything. Opponent is gonna go for the throat. That's fine. There was an argument for. Opponent conceded really quickly. They might. Black Red might also be playing kind of expensive, so but that is awfully weird. Also, kind of scary if your opponent is willing to take the risk and not take the guaranteed draw spell and the guaranteed removal. So I can understand where our opponent's coming from. If anything, it shows how there are plenty of decks in Alchemy that are quite well established. At least until rotation for Alchemy comes out. A lot of the usual suspects are still there. The Mono Red Dragon's still there, even though it's been kind of nerfed. Mono Black is still kind of going strong. This one we definitely keeping this one. Again, I keep forgetting to change out that island, but also not quite punished because the land was gonna enter tapped anyway. Okay, semi punished, but I get to run Blackgate turn 1, and even if this enters some tap, as long as you have at least an untapped source turn 2, you're mostly fine. So next turn, we can probably just keep going for the Throat or Edicting as needed. Oh, come on. Did our opponent keep another sketchy hand? This is the third game in a row where I have no idea what our opponents are hoping. Though to be fair, our second round opponent, the opponent last game did take a mulligan. Honestly speaking, we should be happy that we can actually even mulligan in this game. If you tried playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Modern Master Duel recently, the inability to mulligan really hurts. You'll just get you will get hands that you simply can't play with. Now I understand that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Having a mulligan is a really big issue. No, I guess our opponent just quit? No, they did have a land. I guess our opponent just quit. Huh? You're gonna quit, so be it. And this is not even mono black. I'm even showing blue mana here. Now, we can also be fair. Our opponent might have had a big emergency, so I'm still gonna drop a report anyway. So apologies. It's actually more of a sorry not sorry thing. You kind of have to do this just to. You kind of have to do this, then just let Wizards decide if it's an actual issue or if it's just a one-off. Okay, opponent did come back. Plays Clement. So probably gonna go for the Throat this guy. So our opponent did just disconnect a bit. So, and since he's already at disadvantage, I'm not gonna press the issue further. I'm just gonna. Opponent's gonna concede on that one. Yeah, so not gonna submit the report on that one. Our opponent might have. It's either a technical issue, which has been known to happen, in which, oh yeah, if you do experience a technical issue, like what's happening in game, Alt F4 immediately, try to log back in again. You're probably gonna miss one turn, and yeah, it might be bad enough that you will miss it. You might as well concede the game, but sometimes that's how it is. Oh, wait. Sometimes I talk so much that I keep forgetting to change that island into a swamp. And look, I got an island again. Well, thankfully, not so much turn 1. So, in fact, this is almost the same hand as... And this time we do get an untap. We do get to start untap. But yeah, we don't need the island that... Now, I think our opponent is okay. This might be 5-color stuff, which would make this a real problem. So far it's 5-color. I could just play another March from the Black Gate, but I'm gonna actually hold. It does mean our Edict and go for the Throat is gonna be so important because opponent's just passing. In which case, sure. We can play the waiting game. In fact, it's somewhat to our advantage. Opponent goes for the Throat. Sure, that's fine. So we can also likewise go for the Throat ourselves as well, depending on what our big drop our opponent has. Opponent is playing Elish Norn. We don't need to Edict it, so we will just go for the Throat on this one. But it does mean our opponent is playing a lot of big stuff, so we actually do want to hit more mana. The cut down is not going to do anything. Which it does actually makes the treason kind of iffy as well. I'm actually gonna pass. Because one opponent goes foreign clicks. Ugh. Opponent is literally just playing big stuff. So opponent is gonna get all their mana in a row, but they're not gonna be able to attack, so I can kind of safely play Orcish Bowmasters. I could just bounce Rona. I could also just wait for... I could also kind of wait for our opponent. No, I could also bounce it, I guess, but no, we'll pass. Not cutting it down anytime soon. There's another go for the throat. That will do it for now, I guess. Opponent does have a load of mana, and we're actually the one that's short. Now they do have one swamp. Settle the Wilds. And they do get to seek a card that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could have played this one if they're looking for an 8, so they must be looking specifically for a 7-drop. So this edict is going to be so important, which is why I've been using targeted removal for now. Huh. Interesting tech. If our opponent goes for Bone Graveyard Trespasser, yeah. They can go for one of those. Sure, that's fine. It does minimize our Sauron a bit. So I'm gonna pass. There's a cut down that I can't really use. I could just play March. I'm kind of hoping to save it for something bigger. I could also just bounce this back, but it's soup. But that's super sad beans. I might just play the March. Kind of forcing our opponent to have something really big as a follow-up. But I'm also curious what, because I'm seeing quite a bit of good stuff. I'm seeing the ramp that supports it. The removal does feel out of place considering into a Jin Gitaxias. Whenever coin casts an counter that ability, this trigger. Ooh. But if they don't cast anything to follow, there's actually a trick to this. This is not a Yume, this is a counter, so I can actually target my own creature to force a counter. Opponent might still have removal, but it's looking like they're about to just chump block. But we're about to probably face this guy again. Opponent goes one ring for some temporary protection. I could still swing just to grow this guy a little bit more. Realm Breaker. Looks like it's Praetor Tribal, but also of note, this is the best time for our opponent to start drawing with this one because I would not be able to target. So I'm gonna actually just target my own instead just to get it to grow, which is fine. I can still swing with this to grow it even more. Also, our opponent's probably gonna mill, so Treason of Isengard is not looking great. I'm still gonna swing anyway, just to grow the big guy. So now, so I'm curious to see. Now this time it's not for free. So I suspect our opponent probably has removal, which is why they're going for this. Ooh, but they did get all the mana to play all that. So the question is, yeah, I have no way to counter that. But let's see, what did they play? Each sacrifices a non-token, so I'm forced to give up Orcish Bowmasters. These guys are kind of fine otherwise. So now I actually want to, now that they gave up Realmbreaker, I actually want to do Treason. So first things first, I'm going to swing. Opponent is going to be forced to chump block. And I probably don't want to play Mount of Sauron until a lot later. Either one. So now I do want to Treason of Isengard. Let's get back Shieldred's Edict. Opponent could just replace this with another One Ring any moment now. Nope, they're just throwing Shieldred the Apocalypse. There are now 3 counters on this, but our opponent is going to gain quite a lot of life. Yeah, in retrospect, it should have been... This was the wrong spell to get. Topiary Stomper is fine. So all in all, it does kind of make sense now. The cards still feel kind of random. It just... It does feel like our opponent jammed a lot of Praetors on this. Yeah, now I wish I still had Orcish Bowmasters. And I wish I had a better way of dealing with Shieldred. Yeah, we're gonna take a bit of damage here. I am gonna swing first and see if our opponent is willing to... See if our opponent's willing to give up Shieldred first. Opponent's just gonna give up Topiary Stomper first. That's fine. Honestly, yeah, I did make a mistake picking this. We had, so when in doubt, go for the targeted one. So we're actually dead on board here. Yeah, that was one critical mistake on our part, but that's fine. It's a better learning experience. The cutdown's very good for early game, but I did not expect the game to go this long. Now, blue does have ways of countering triggered and activated abilities. There's a few spells that do it. Something I should probably consider if I was going to take this one seriously. Rona's Vortex would have been a fine pickup here. Okay, opponent's going to go first, so... This will ETB untapped. So we will have Deceived the Messenger if it gets bit. More likely than not, I'm probably just gonna march right now, see what our opponent does. If our opponent just has kill spells for this, fine with it. Golem Spike, sure. This might just be mono black Nazgul. So that cut down was really good timing. If our opponent has another Nazgul, I will have to go for its throat. Opponent's going. It's actually black red. Another Nazgul. So I'm thinking if I want to deceive the messenger, then go for the throat afterwards. I don't want to have a creature. Yeah, I do want to have a creature on board. Not quite a combat trick, but it will do. Now we can start piling on a bit. Now we can start piling on the damage a bit. Next turn, we will have to decide if we want to go Mouth of Sauron to buff our creature. Opponent's island cycling, so they actually did go Grixis. Yeah, definitely probably going to do it on our end. Opponent has yet another Nazgul. So, I'm going to swing first. This will cleanly trade. Opponent's actually going to just take it. So, probably going to just play the Dismal Backwater. Then you'll probably go for Sauron's Ransom. Opponent might be able to just start buffing their stuff, so... But yeah, the Sauron Ransom is going to be kind of important. Even though we're not going to be getting that many cards. Oh, I really wish I had Orcish Bowmasters now. Actually, that would have been an interesting... That would be an interesting reason to play Island instead of Dismal Backwater. Opponent does pitch Saruman. Witch King of Angmar. Okay, let's Sauron's Ransom now. Let's see if... Now, Witch King of Angmar is really annoying in the sense that if I... Ooh, there's the Orcish Bowmasters I wanted, but... Okay, the other cards that I probably would want are removal spells. And I don't really want these now. Yeah, let's just use these. Yeah, Shieldred's Edict. That's a... So we can Edict... there's some Mordor Muster. So most likely... We Edict first. See if our opponent... Which one our opponent gives up. Most likely the Nazgul. If they give up Witch King, that would be very interesting. So... Swing, hit our opponent for 4. Opponent could just chump block it, but... Yeah, it's safer to just take the damage and force me to sacrifice it. You do get a free Ring Temp though. So I did play a land already, so we're gonna go Treason of Isengard for... Okay, this time we learned our lesson. We're taking Go for the Throat. So next turn, if we draw a land, we have to decide if we want to go for the... Most likely still go for the Throat anyway. When it goes Golem's Bite. We're actually going to take a lot of damage here, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to know what's in your hand to... When it does play another Nazgul, which is not the worst. I'm still gonna nuke Witch King at this point. We did not draw the mana we need though, so I probably will play Mordor Muster first. There's the land that we'll use. Now the problem is this gets indestructible and tap it, so our opponent most likely just discards this card. Yikes. Sacrifice would have been better, but I would not have drawn it in time. It would end up taking the Nazgul out anyway. So I'm going to stop on the opponent's upkeep just to have it tap. So opponent just will discard it, but it does save us some damage. Turns out to be another Golem's Bite. Okay. Yeah, I considered doing the... We'll take the 2. Don't know what our opponent's last card is. Could be removal for all I know. Well, they're looking at it. So let's do a check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our opponent definitely has something. So let's do a check on their yard. 1, 2, 3. No, we have more. We're gonna do ours. So opponent probably has a removal spell because this is lethal. No, they don't. We lucked out. And actually, that was barely enough. We just needed 2 mil, 1 more. Oh my gosh, that was so close. That was so close. I'll take it. That was a good one. Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna probably do. Let's do 1 more game. Let's see what. But let's do the one thing that we've been meaning to do this whole time. Just before you guys accuse me of actually forgetting. Let's do the one thing that I'm supposed to do. Now it does become awkward if I draw all my basics, but most of my blue cards are mostly reactive anyway. So even the Deceive the Messenger still needs a target. So I am going to prioritize the black spells a lot more in this case. That's kind of also one of the ways you can balance your deck. And I still draw islands, but it's fine. We get to go first. We probably... Yeah, it doesn't matter what we played. ETB's tap. So this is the one time we would be kind of punished if our... Well, we drew the cut down late, so that's fine. So we'll see what our opponent has for this one. Deep Root. And our... Okay, I guess Orcish Bowmasters gets auto concedes. I was just gonna cut down afterwards and just hold up Edict. That was way too fast. Well, you're gonna have to expect after the showing in Modern, people are going to play Orcish Bowmasters. Did I miss anything? Yeah, we can do 1 more game. Just need to kill one. If I had killed that creature first instead of playing the Orcish Bowmasters, I would have had it. I would have completed that achievement. I can do it on my own time. Also, really need to. I'm also gonna fix the light. Ooh, this one is. Yeah, this is keepable. We have a lot of turn 2 stuff. I'm gonna play the Underground. Oh wait, that's a mistake. I should play the Shipwreck Marsh first because there's no guarantee that I... The reason for me playing this one is... Oh, okay, we did draw it after all. We'll play March from the Black Gate because we don't need the card draw right away. Air quotes. Seeing a lot of basics. And there's your Nazgul. I'm gonna see if our opponent has any respect or no. Nope. No, they did have respect. Okay, we'll just kill this. I don't... Another Nazgul. Me? Well, that's why we run cut down. As long as you time it right properly, it will kill. It gets rid of all most Nazgul. So Yeah, I'm gonna amass now. Just get it kind of out of range. Opponent is bound to have a large creature come up soon. I will say that I am somewhat impressed by that singleton Praetor deck. That one was very neat. Now this one, our opponent is incentivized to block. Which makes Deceive the Messenger really good. Yeah, so Mouth of Sauron would give us a nice restart if our opponent, they finally go for the Bitter Downfall. Yeah, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll do Mouth of Sauron first. That gives us and target ourselves. +1, not too bad. This will force our opponent to use yet another removal spell, and we can just Treason of Isengard. Witch King of Angmar. This time I'm prepared. And they had to give up Sauron's ransom for it. That should elicit a concession at this point. Yeah. So any adjustments I would make, probably the number of edict effects I might just change it to more spot removal. Now, cast down, probably not the best idea. Infernal Grasp is probably still okay as an option. Yeah, that would be how I might adjust it. Yeah, I probably would do Infernal Grasp instead. No, or maybe not even Infernal Grasp. Now they're not that many demons, so. Though, wait, is that card still legal? I'm gonna do a check of 2 mana removal spells because the edicts are admittedly the weaker part here. I'm gonna try to avoid stuff like Eaten Alive and whatnot. Exile effect. Well, we're not corrupted, so that's not gonna. Exile would be a nice trick. Again, I'm saying that because there are a lot of incidental legendaries, this is not gonna fit. Drawn in Ikra, unfortunately, is a sorcery, so that would not have panned out really well. Infernal Grasp would be my next bet. Kind of a bit painful. Yeah, still better. That's a sorcery. I know there's another one. It might have rotated out already though. No, I think it rotated out. I think that's it. The better bet would actually just to run Infernal Grasp. Yeah, nothing else there. I'd say that's it. I could have considered Tribute to Urborg. Though we're gonna be kicking this a lot more often than not, and if that is the case, I would rather have Ruinous Vortex because it's more versatile. Actually, take a look at the 1 mana removal also, because the usual one is like Lash of the Balrog, but you have to pay for. We saw Golem's Bite earlier, and not quite cut down levels, but it's still pretty good. You do get incidental Tempt with the Ring, which is best for the Nazgul build. Grizzly Sigil is a weird one. You really have to casualty for it to actually do anything reasonable. Yeah, I guess that's it. Wait, Bone Splinters, Break, Expectations. Oh, it's really cut down. Yeah, there's this figure, but I would rather just run Golem's Bite at that point. That's it. So basically the only suggestion I would make now is some sub out Edict for Infernal Grasp, and yeah, keep an eye on your mana. That should be it. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. Yeah, Walls of Eldraine coming soon. Looks like we got about less than a month or so. But until then, yeah, we're gonna be holding the fort here. Um, yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Oh, might as well open a pack and do take care. Oh, let's open 2 packs then. This one's the after show. At least it's a good way to get the mythics that you do not want to craft at all. Reminds me, I do want to buy a few more Aftermath packs because we're probably not going to open those here. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.